Carroll Park. Carroll Park is a public park in Bucharest, Romania, named after King Carroll I of Romania. A French garden located in the southern central area of Bucharest, partly on Filaret Hill, originally capable of hosting various exhibitions, it suffered considerable modifications during the communist regime, including a name change to Liberty Park. The park has officially been listed as a historical monument since 2004. Administration of the park is undertaken mostly by the Bucharest City Hall, whereas monuments are in the care of the Ministry of Culture and Religious Affairs. The park was designed by French landscape artist Edouard Redont in 1900 on Filaret Hill, under the supervision of Constantin Istrati, then president of the Romanian Academy. It was inaugurated in 1906, on the 40th anniversary of the coronation of King Carroll I. The park had an initial surface area of 36 hectares, including the 20,000 square meters Lake Filaret. It hosted the 1906 Bucharest Exhibition, and included many pavilions and buildings, of which only the Technical Museum and the open-air Roman arenas survive. The park once contained busts of Ioan Lahavari and Constantin Istrati, but these were replaced after 1948 with busts of George Coșbuc, Alexandru Sahia, Nicolae Balcescu, and the shoemaker poet Theodore Neculutza, which remain today. The Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, inaugurated in 1923 in memory of Romanian soldiers fallen in World War I, was dismantled and moved in 1958 to Mausoleum, being replaced by a mausoleum of the communist heroes. In 1991 it was returned to the park, to be moved again in 2007, closer to its original location. Aside from its beautiful vegetation and panoramic views, the park also includes several monuments, such as a mausoleum, the Cantacuzino fountain built in 1870, the Giants statues, the Zodiac fountain 1934, the Technical Museum first opened in 1909, a monument in the shape of a small mosque built in 1923 as a sign of reconciliation. Also in the park are the open-air Roman arena, and the Astronomical Institute of the Romanian Academy. The Carroll Park Mausoleum, known during the communist regime as the Monument of the Heroes for the Freedom of the People and of the Motherland, for Socialism, is located on a plateau. Formerly, it was the site of the Arts Palace, and later of the Military Museum with the fountain in front of the latter museum. The mausoleum was built in honor of revolutionary socialist militants. Designed by architects Horia Macu and Nicolae Ciuciu, it was inaugurated on the 30th of December 1963, the 16th anniversary of the Romanian People's Republic. The base is circular and plated with black granite. Above rise 5 narrow arches covered with red granite. Inside the base there is a rotunda covered in red granite plates. The ceiling is decorated with a golden mosaic. Prior to the Romanian Revolution of 1989, the rotunda contained the crypts of communist leaders Petru Groza, Gheorghe Gheorghiu-Dej, and Constantin Ion Pahan. In the semicircle around the monument were crypts containing the remains of a number of socialist militants, such as Stefan Gheorghiu, Ion C. Frimu, Leontin Sălagian, Alexandru Moghiaraș, Lucrețiu Patrușcanu, Grigol Priotiza, Ili Pintili, and Constantin Dobrogeanu Ghirea. To the right of the monument was a hemicycle containing the funeral urns of communist militants, including Gheorghe Vosilescu Vasia, Constantin David, Ada Marinescu, Panate Mașoiu, Barbu Lazarinu, Simeon Stoilo, and Mikhail Macavei. When it was built, an eternal flame burned on an upper terrace near the monument, in a granite amphora. This was intended to preserve the memory of those who had fought on behalf of the working class. In 1991, the mausoleum acquired a new purpose when the communists were exhumed and interred in other cemeteries. They were replaced by the remains of soldiers fallen in World War I, brought from the Marasheshti Mausoleum. The mausoleum and the monument in front of it were dedicated to the unknown soldier. The rotunda remains closed to the public, and guards are stationed to prevent the approach of visitors. The two giants' statues flank the park's main walkway near the 11 June Square entrance. 3.5 m tall and 50 m from one another, they form a line perpendicular to the walkway, and depict two nude youths. One of them shows a young man with a strained look. His head is bowed, his right shoulder twisted, he leans on his left hand, the right he keeps behind his back, and the legs are bent. In the other statue, a young man leans his head toward his left shoulder, his torso is twisted, and he supports himself on his left hand, while the right is behind his back. At first the statues were located before the Arts Palace, and of the artificial cave in front of it. The grotto was called the Giants Grotto, or the Enchanted Grotto, as it was watched over by the two giants, and a sleeping beauty. The three statues showed the characters of a legend where twins, in love with the same woman, were turned into stone due to their unrequited love, while the object of their love became a waterfall. At that time, the giants were displayed one before the other, with the sleeping beauty lying down in the middle. Philip Morin sculpted Sleeping Beauty, Dimitri Passaiuria and Frederick Stork were responsible for the giants. The former was done in marble, the latter are in Rouse stone. The Roman Arena, an open-air theatre built by architect Leonida Negrescu and Ing. Eli Rodu, were originally intended for sporting as well as cultural events. After renovation in 1968, they can host cca 5,000 spectators, and are currently used as a venue for occasional concerts.